Banks are a little bit stuck in the previous century with their technology, with their business model. They're much more thinking about how do we build things for ourselves, how do we keep on feeding our greed. If banks had been thinking about how do we give our customers a cheap, quick and easy to use way to transfer money, they could have done it. But it's something in the system, something in the water they're drinking, which is preventing them from doing it. I was born in the Soviet Union. Estonia became independent when I was 10 years old. And now it's part of a modern world. It's a highly ranked, innovative country. So that gives one belief that everything is possible. Really built TransferWise with my co-founder to solve a personal frustration. We're expats living in London. In Estonia, I was part of the team that built Skype, so I saw how you can build new things and do things in a much better way. As I moved to London, I realized that my bank is really ripping me off when I transfer money. It takes a long time and a bunch of it goes missing because the exchange rate that banks use is completely artificial. So we found a better way of doing it. I transferred money from my account in Estonia to his account in Estonia, and he transferred money from his account in London to my account in London. And we looked at Google for the exchange rate, and boom, it worked. So pretty quickly we had saved thousands of pounds in bank fees, and we had this great feeling of having kind of cheated our bank. That was the reason for setting up TransferWise. After having helped ourselves, we realized there are many other people in the world whom we could help if we make this a service which is available to them. TransferWise helps people and businesses make international payments. We do it on your smartphone, do it very quickly for a very low cost. We actually don't need the bank at all, because we can be a bit smarter. Many innovations before they happen get looked at and laughed at as being a toy. When we launched Skype, you needed a powerful computer, you needed a fast broadband connection, but then if you had it, you could make very high quality calls. But at that moment, very few people had it. So inevitably, the old incumbents, AT&T of the world, were looking at this and laughing. Hey, this is just a toy. Only the very wealthy can afford it. A couple years later, broadband was much more common, computer speeds developed, and pretty soon Skype got to a point where now 40% of long-distance calling is happening through Skype. Look at who's more like a toy now, the old rotary dial telephone or your mobile phone, which has Skype or other modern communication on it. The most important bank branch now is mobile, so we're looking at a world where your mobile phone is a bank branch. You will be doing all of your banking activities on your phone. We've been going for 6 years now, and I still look at this as being the very beginning. If I look at where we are now, with more than 1 million people using TransferWise, we're transferring $1 billion a month. You could think of this as the end destination, but really I think it's the beginning. We're looking at there are hundreds of millions of people who are transferring money, and that making sure that all of them have a better way of doing it is really the next place where we're heading to. We need to make sure that we continue fighting for a much more fair, for a much more transparent world, which makes sure that everyone gets included. In order to have an impact, you need to build a team. So it's really about building and empowering teams to come on a journey with you. I think immigration is a great driving force. It makes sure that people from different backgrounds get to come together, gives them more perspective, and I think ultimately it helps to make it a much more level, much more common and inclusive playing ground. If you think about the alternative to immigration is that we have little silos, little walls and towers, and that only means one thing, that you get these different cells which are becoming much more competitive to each other. Versus if we think about this with a mindset which is pro immigration, we can see how that makes the world overall a much flatter, much more interconnected. And that means that it'll also go a longer way towards solving some of the issues that we're facing in the world today.